And Mark Becker. You know, we figured we'd start off 2018 in a big way, right? A really, really big way. A lot of us know Colin Cole with the Panthers. In fact, a lot of us got to know him a lot better just a couple of months ago when he was here at this very lectern talking about his foundation and an event that he had coordinated through a golf outing to benefit the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, some of our community engagement programs. So just to further that endeavor, he's back to close that loop and has some exciting news that he wants to discuss today and something that he wants to present to the Chief of Police. So without further delay, Colin Cole.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate that great introduction, that stellar introduction. Back in October 5th of 2017, my company, the Cole Group, was able to bring together some good people that wanted to raise funds. Just like I came back here in September and spoke about our company and our partnership with CMPD and the opportunity that we've completely relished in being able to really take part in community growth and helping do more things to help bridge the gap between the police department and our neighborhoods. Very excited to be able to come here this morning and present this check for $10,000, which was raised at that golf tournament. Very, very successful, put together by a good group of folks and a lot of good companies that came through to really help with the sponsorship of this event. It's really exciting to be able to give back. It's only the start, really only the start. This event actually segues into our next event that we'll be hosting this upcoming February 5th. Of this year at Fahrenheit Uptown, and it's going to be one of the better events of the year. Kick off the year with a bang, and continue to build on what our momentum is right now. $10,000 is a great amount of money to be able to present, and I'm excited to be able to do so. And without further ado, thank you, Chief, and this is what we present for you.
We willingly accept, by the way. Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Guys, let me get one here too for, if I could. Look at that. Hands in the group. 1, 2. Can you bring it down a little bit? Blocking Chief Foster out there. Perfect. 1, 2, and 3. Nice.
All right, thank you. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Always my pleasure. Thank you. You got it, JJ? Yeah. No.
We'll be sure to keep you up to date on that event, that February 5th event. In fact, if you follow us on social media, and I know most, if not all of you do, we'll have some more specifics that are going up on Facebook and on Twitter in the not too distant future. In fact, I believe I see one of my colleagues putting some of that stuff up there as we speak. So, shifting gears to something a little bit more weighty, a little bit more crime-driven. We had that situation from several weeks back over on Westinghouse Boulevard with the cold-blooded murder of Mr. Elmer Kabui. He was the 7-Eleven clerk who was senselessly gunned down when he was working in a robbery attempt. I also know that we closed that loop through some just tremendous work by patrol and our investigators and our analysts in announcing the arrests of those 2 individuals responsible for that murder. What probably a lot of us in the room don't know is community's involvement in bringing some resolution to that case. And I'd like to introduce Brandon Miller, Detective Miller with Crime Stoppers, to talk about just how much of a role our Crime Stoppers program had in resolving that case and how the community not only spoke up, but stepped up.
Thank you, Rob. Again, my name is Detective Brandon Miller, and I'm with the Crime Stoppers of Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. Before I go into the homicide, I want to just kind of hit on what Crime Stoppers is about so that everyone kind of knows, because I've had some people come up and say, what is Crime Stoppers or how does it work? Basically, the concept of the Crime Stoppers program itself is a way to give the community an avenue to help police out and yet remain anonymous. The selling point of this program, however, though, is that there's a cash reward for the information that leads to the arrest of an individual. There is no court appearances for anybody that gives us a tip. Again, I repeat, there's no court appearances. Your information is truly anonymous. We don't ask for phone numbers, addresses, your name, any personal information about you. The only thing that we want from the tipsters is their specific information. And again, going back to the homicide on Westinghouse, again, the community helped us out a great deal of work, helped us out a great deal. The arrest of that individual came from a Crime Stoppers tip. That person is eligible up to a $17,000 reward. And again, that's going to be a cash reward. That person will not have to appear in court. Just a few stats about the Crime Stoppers program itself. In 2017, we approved just over $63,000. That's just reward money given back to the community. There was $37,000 actually paid out. That relates to 2016, where we only approved $31,000 and only paid out $13,000. So again, the big jump in participation, it shows, it works. We're hoping that in 2018, the word gets out a little bit more about the program itself, and we can try to double that even more. We've had 20 guns taken from firearm by felon, from that firearm by felon campaign. So basically what that means is someone who called in to Crime Stoppers, said, hey, I know this person is a felon, he has a gun. We investigated that tip, went out and arrested that individual and charged him with firearm by felon. Firearm by felon campaigns arrests are also eligible for a cash reward of $500. Okay. A couple more stats I just want to give you guys. We seized over $100,000 in worth of drugs in 2017 compared to only $59,000 in 2016. We recovered over $100,000 in property in 2017 versus only $80,000 in 2016. There were roughly 2,700 tips that came in to CMPD in 2016. We assisted in 23 robbery arrests, 7 homicide arrests, and we've had over 200 fugitives. Fugitives meaning people who we were looking for with warrants, whether it be local warrants or out-of-state warrants. Crime Stoppers helped out on 200 of those, over 200 of those. Again, spread the word about Crime Stoppers, because this program actually works and we want to push it out there to the community. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Detective Miller. And just to dovetail a little bit off of what Detective Miller was talking about, out of those 2,100 some odd calls from community members, 144 tips on homicide cases in 2017. Of those tips, 5 arrests were made directly as a result of Crime Stopper tips coming from community members on homicides. You don't have to look far back at all. The case he just discussed on Westinghouse Boulevard at that 7-Eleven, the hookah bar stabbing, Reddit 28th, that was due to Crime Stoppers tip. In fact, the guy responsible for the stabbing or stabbings of those people in that hookah lounge was on his way getting on a plane out of the country over Charlotte Douglas International Airport with a wad of cash in his pocket. We were able to intercept, bring that person into custody in the short order, again, because of the information that we attained from community members. The school bus shooting over on Plaza Midwood from a couple of months ago. Those 2 individuals that were taken into custody directly resulted from community members stepping up, speaking up, and calling the Crime Stoppers tip line. It works. I don't think the numbers are anything that anybody should just bristle at. Those are important numbers, and it's just a testament to community members who continue to just be community-minded enough to want to ensure that our city is a safe city. So, I know some of you follow us on social media, and if you do, yesterday we had a little bit of a Facebook Live campaign, and we'll lighten it up a little bit, and made what we consider is a significant announcement on the social media front. And what we intend to do as far as communicating with our community directly, unfiltered, having the ability to do that through Instagram, beginning tomorrow at 9:00 a.m. We will launch the CMPD's official Instagram account and expect to have some meaningful, helpful information. Could be entertaining at times, could be informational at times. One of the chief architects of the whole Instagram program is he's lurking around here somewhere, and he's probably hiding because he doesn't want to get on this side of the camera, but his name's Yair, and we've introduced him on more than one occasion, and just a super creative guy, and we're just tremendously excited about the opportunities that we're going to have to directly communicate to our community far more than we do now on Facebook, and we like to think that we're doing the Facebook thing pretty good and the Twitter thing pretty good. This is really going to help us, I think, connect with a community, young members of our community, that's kind of been really a blind spot for us traditionally. And I don't think that's unique to the CMPD. I think police departments across the board really have a difficult time at times really connecting with young people in the community. So it seems to be a platform that's pretty favorable with younger members of our community, and we'd be foolish not to leverage some of those efforts through Instagram, and that's exactly what we're going to do beginning tomorrow at 9. Make sure you follow us. It is our handle, our Twitter or Instagram handle is CMPD PIC, CMPD PIC, and again, that goes live tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock sharp. What do we got? Anybody?
We were talking about the police report that showed that an unauthorized drone fell on an officer that was doing patrols. Want to see if you could respond to.
Yeah, thankfully the officer is going to be okay, and I saw or had a conversation with you offline about that report. You know, a lot of people have gotten that kind of technology, those drones for Christmas. Seems to be becoming more and more reasonable as far as pricing goes. So we're going to see a lot more of that in our community. You know, as fun as they are, the equipment also comes with tremendous responsibility, right? And there is just a multitude of rules that govern the use of drone equipment, and I would encourage people to go, I believe it's the FAA's website, go there and find out what it is you should and shouldn't be doing and best practices, because, you know, thankfully this guy's going to be okay, this officer, but, you know, that could have gotten a little dicey, you know, if it would have gone the other way. So just something to be mindful of.
And you guys have dealt with drone problems, not only for, you know, people on patrol, but the helicopters.
Yeah, we actually had a press conference specifically coordinated just to discuss the dangers of flying them anywhere near helicopters, our helicopter, our aircraft, you know, and the damage, the potential damage that that could occur, you know, by one of those pieces of equipment getting too close to an aircraft. You're flying, you know, we're above hundreds of thousands of people in our community with an expensive piece of aircraft, and for you know, a little $200 drone to get so close to them, you know, may not seem like much, but the results could be just catastrophic. Again, I would highly encourage people who've gotten this equipment to enjoy it, you know, have fun with it, but do so responsibly and find out what it is you should and shouldn't be doing before you take to the skies with them.
Hey Rob, are you guys seeing any increase in auto thefts or anything like that with people leaving their cars unattended? You know, it's cold in the morning, so some people might, you know, leave their cars running to try to get them to warm up. So have you noticed any increase or anything like that?
Had 56 cars that have been stolen from December 26th to January 3rd. That's up a couple from 53 this time last year. Don't know if all of those vehicle thefts involve people who left the keys in the ignition for the car to warm up. I suspect there's some of them. I just don't have that to quantify right now. You know, look, I know it's convenient. You know, everybody wants to get into a toasty car in the morning. You know, what's worse than getting into a cold car is walking into your driveway, out to your driveway, and having no car, you know? And don't think for a second that these thieves aren't smart enough to know that when the temperatures drop, people are doing this, that they're warming their cars up and they're looking for opportunities. Don't be an easy target. Don't be a victim. Keep your car manned or womaned, right? And occupied and harden that target.
Well, this is a citation, right?
Sorry?
In North Carolina, is it a citation?
It is a citation, yes. It is a citation. But that aside, I mean, good golly, you're going to lose a $20,000, $30,000 car just because you wanted to, you know, keep it warm. I mean, I get it. You know, it's chilly out there. I was cold this morning, left at 5 o'clock this morning, and I know how cold it is, but I warm my car up in the driveway, I'll tell you that. Nope.
Is it possible to actually enforce that and give out citations? I know officers are busy. So.
I know there's a statute on the books, and I'll go ahead and I'll take a look at just how often. I wouldn't suspect that we do it frequently, but you know, I know we've had campaigns around the city this year, last year, where we've actually put tickets on cars, not any kind of enforcement activity, but just a reminder to let people know, look, this kind of activity is something that could have some potential long-term consequences by having your vehicle taken.
Rob, there were a couple of attempted armed robberies and robberies of fast food joints, McDonald's, KFC recently. Have you guys seen an increase? Think those are connected?
I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the specific reports that you're talking about. It ebbs and flows just like a lot of our other Part 1 crimes. What we continue to do is urge people in the business community, if they do unfortunately find themselves in a situation like that, to really be a good witness. Don't put up any resistance. If you don't feel that you're in any kind of imminent danger, give them the property and call 911. Thankfully, nobody's been hurt during these things, but I'd be more than happy to go back, circle back, and take a look at those cases that you're referencing.
One more item, before the break, before Christmas, the two boys who were shot, 9 and 11-year-old, you guys still looking for the person responsible?
Yeah, we absolutely are. I understand that they're on the mend. They're physically doing as well as could be expected. Thank heaven. Given the circumstances, emotionally, I wouldn't be able to even take a stab at how they must be feeling it in that regard. And then you had this other child, 4-month-old child, over the last couple of days over on Romare Bearden Drive. I know that there were some reports out there that happened on a greenway. What I understand is it was in a breezeway walking back into the apartments of Arbor Glen when the mom and the child were struck. It appears as though by the same bullet. Both I think the mom was grazed in the leg, and the infant, it was a through and through shot, and thankfully there was no structural damage, and the infant's doing fine, but good golly. Right now, do we know if it was celebratory gunfire? Was somebody just goofing off? Have no reason to believe that they were any intended targets, but good gosh, broad daylight, right? A mother and an infant child. So we are looking for the individual responsible for the two boys, and obviously looking for the person responsible for the shot that was fired over the last couple of days out at Arbor Glen. Senseless. Doesn't make a lick of sense.
Rob, everybody's bundled up because of the weather. Seems like it's quiet. Do you guys have any tracking? Do you know if the weather has held the numbers down or is holding the numbers down?
I don't. I don't. Traditionally, I think we see a little bit of dip in some of the criminal activity as temperatures get to the degree that they're at right now. And I don't know if it's any barometer, if you excuse the pun, but I haven't seen much in the way of incident notifications, and that's a pretty good way that we tell just if there are any significant events that have been cooking off, and we haven't seen many. Maybe it's just that, here we are in 2018 and everybody's just kinder and gentler, Mark Becker.
Probably
that's
not.
what we're going to go
Well,
with.
let's flip it around and say, and ask the question, has it presented problems for you all, the cold weather? Officers standing out there on patrol or otherwise?
Yeah, well, can you imagine, that they don't have the luxury of some of us, like myself, that, get to sit my rear end in a chair most of the day in a climate-controlled building in 72-degree temperatures. No, these men and women are out there. They direct traffic. They're conducting car stops, working wrecks, responding to calls for service. They don't get a break from the elements, and just a testament to dedication and commitment that we have out there from our men and women. My hat's off to them.
No serious cases of people having cold exposure. Also, any.
You know what, Mark? I probably wouldn't know that. That's probably something best. Maybe Lester Olivia with Medic might be able to answer for you.
All right.
Do you have any thoughts you can share about, now that we're in a new year, bringing down the murder rate, new initiatives, new goals? Probably don't. No one wants to see a repeat of the numbers from last year. So, any thoughts now that it's a fresh?
Well, the new goal is the old goal. And the old goal is to prevent the next crime from occurring, and that's not just lip service. That's one of our charges. That's something that we take awfully seriously. But we talked at great length on a number of occasions about our community empowerment initiative. I think that that's something that you're really going to see start to take flight. It has already in Hidden Valley. It's beginning to in our Lakewood community, and we'll begin to roll it out in other communities as well. It's a way of us getting involved with our partners in the community and kind of intervening in some of these neighborhoods where we've had a history of crime, and working with some of these partners to get out in front of that. Whether it's counseling, mediation, just a variety of other things. It's custom made, and it really allows us to help the community help themselves. And I think the chief's a big proponent of this, and I really think that you're going to start to see this thing take flight in 2018 and help bring that violent crime number down. And it's important stuff.
Rob, this has been kind of an ongoing issue, but even in colder months, we've become aware of some break-ins at Greenway parking lots. So people are still going running even in this cold. Can you talk about, are there any plans this year to increase patrols in those, more remote areas of the trail, any parking lots, putting cameras in there, anything like that? How do we keep our joggers and, people who are exercising safe?
Sure. Anything with regard to technology and cameras, probably a park and rec would probably be the avenue that you'd have to pursue. As far as we go, and cars getting broken into when people are biking or jogging, even in inclement weather like this, I suspect if we are seeing some of that, I guarantee, as sure as I'm standing here, that 90% of those cars are being left unlocked. And, at the risk of beating the drum, just lock your stuff up, get your expensive belongings out of plain sight, and don't make yourself an easy target. It's same carries through no matter whether it's 95 degrees or 15 degrees.
Can you talk about the process of filing a police report if someone, got their wallet stolen out of the car, maybe they took their registration as well. If you were to file a report, how can CMPD help that victim? What can you guys do?
Well, we can take the report, and if there's a situation that would allow us to get out there and maybe obtain some prints from the vehicle, not often likely, but it does happen on occasion. First thing you got to do is call, though, right? You need to get it on paper, not only for your own purpose, insurance purposes, and you may need to get your license and other credentials renewed, replaced. But it also helps us track, where we're seeing these kind of incidents occur. That's a tremendous help in the way that we move resources, staffing, and people, and conduct our operations. We need to know that a crime occurred there for us to address it. So it's critically important that you call so we know about it. Good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great Christmas, a happy New Year, and I guess we'll huddle back up next Wednesday and do it all over again. All right? Appreciate you guys.
May we be open to others' ideas